Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create an MLA paper on Google Docs from scratch. I started this at the end of the previous video where I showed you how to use a template, so I'll just show you what I did so far. You can either go to Drive or Google Docs and you're going to hit New. In this case I'm on Drive, so New Google Docs. And then you're going to title your report something that you'll remember and that will make sense. So that's all I did on this file, which we're going to start with. So on the template, you had a few pieces of information that created a first page heading. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So the first thing I have to do is my name, my full name. Then I'm going to hit enter. And the next thing that I would like to do is put in my professor's name. And then I'm going to put in my class title and the date. The date is always going to be in MLA format, and it should also be the date that the assignment is due. Okay, now I'm going to put in my header. So I'm going to go to Insert, and normally we'd click on headers and footers. However, we need our page number in this. So I'm going to click on page numbers, or rather just hold my mouse over it. And I'm going to come to this picture up at the top where you'll see there's a little number 1 and then behind it a small number 2. So that will be our page number, and now it's put it in the header up here. So we need a last name before that. So we're going to put our last name. And our font is different. So you'll notice that it says Arial 11. We want it to be Times New Roman. And we want it to be 12-point font. So we're saving that. And we're going to do the same thing for this paper heading. So to get out of the header, if you double click up here, you'll get to the header. If you double click in the body of the paper, you get back to the body. So I'm just going to highlight this. I want it to say Times New Roman. And I want it to be 12-point font, and you can hit enter to save that. We also want to double space our report. So you come here to line spacing on the top, and you click on double. We also had a title. So I'm going to center my title by clicking this little button, and I'm going to say whatever my report title is. And then I hit enter, but you'll notice now that this is centered, we don't want that to be centered, so we're going to click on this left align button. And now we can start typing something. Okay, so now we have a first line for a paper, but there's another little formatting issue. So we don't want this to be exactly left aligned. We want it to be tabbed. So I'm just going to press the tab button. And now you'll notice, okay, I have an indent here. And then I would write the rest of my paper. Now, if I scroll down, you'll see that I don't have a Works Cited page here. So I'm going to need to insert a Works Cited. So the first thing I'm going to do is enter. And you'll notice, again, here's an indent. This time we're going to get rid of the indent just by pressing backspace. I want to put in a page break, which we did also using the template as well. So I'm going to go to Insert, and then I'm going to go to Break, and then I'm going to go to Page Break. Now I have a second page, and you'll see my last name stayed the same and the page number updated so that it shows you page 2. So I'm going to type Works Cited. If you ever were writing a paper where it was just one source, you would just call it Works Cited. But we're going to use Works Cited because we're going to use more than one. I'm going to center this title like I did for the previous page. And now I'm going to enter. We have the same issue. It's centered. We want it to be aligned with the left side of the page. And just as I did last time, we're going to pull all of the MLA information. So I went to Purdue OWL, which is their online writing lab, and I clicked on the MLA guide, and they give you this wonderful numbered list, including the punctuation, for all of the source information you need to gather and put in a Works Cited entry. So I'm going to show you how to do that again, just in case. So I'm going to my source. Here we have 1918 pandemic. This time I'm going to try using the organization as your author. So I'm going to call this Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and that will be my author's name. Okay. And you need a punctuation here, but I don't remember. So I'm going to go look here, and it has a period. Next thing we need is the title of our source. So you can just copy and paste. This time I'm going to type it, 1918 pandemic. And that's our full title. So I'm going to put quotes around that. When you have a smaller article, you always use quotes to show that it's something smaller. And again, I see that there's a period here, so I'm going to put a period right here. It actually goes inside my quotation marks. The next thing that I'm going to do is use the title of the container. And if you actually scroll down, they have a little more information and they show you examples. So they mention a title of a source should be in italics, and they also show you a smaller article on a larger site. So you can see that that is in italics. They say the name of the parent website, which MLA treats as a container, should follow in italics. So I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. You can kind of see on the bottom some more bibliographical information, but we're just going to call it Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And they actually have here, you can see that they don't do the website name, they just do the title of the website. So we'll keep it as it is. Scrolling back up now. And here we have other contributors, a version, a number, publisher. It's probably not going to have 4, 5, and 6, but it will have a publisher, so number 7. And again, I'm going to the bottom of the page to find the publisher. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is going to be my publisher. And our punctuation is a comma after the title of the container. And then we said it was U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And our punctuation is a comma. Now we need a publication date. So I look back here, page last reviewed, March 20th, 2019. MLA dates are always formatted where the day comes first, and then you have the month, and then you have the year. We have a comma after that, and then the location. So for the location, I just go to my other window. I click on this bar up here, and then I'm going to copy. I'm on a PC, so I'm going to use Control-C and Control-V to paste it. We put a period at the end. To get rid of this link, I'm just clicking once, and there's this little button. It's a paperclip with a line through it, and it says remove link, and I do want to remove that link. Okay, so let's say now that I have another source that I want to cite. This time I want to cite a print source. So, it kept our link. I click on it again, and I just click remove link. So this time I'm going to use a print source, which was the first source that I heard about the Spanish flu in, which was Stephanie Meyer's Twilight. So I'm going to use my author, last name, comma, first name. And then we put a period. And I'm actually going to use my first citation as kind of a guide, although I could always click back on the MLA Purdue OWL page and get my punctuation from there again. So that's our author. This time we don't have a smaller work within a larger work. Instead, we just have one novel. So it's going to be italicized because it's a full-length work of literature. If it were just a complete website that you were using, you would also just italicize it and not necessarily need this smaller source, the title of an article. Okay, I look back here and I see after my container I have a comma, so I'm going to add a comma down here. I don't need italics for the publisher. This you can't see because I have a book in front of me, but I'm opening up my book, and on the first page, before the text itself starts, there's a lot of great information. It gives me all the same stuff. Our publisher this time is Little Brown and Company. And now I'm going to include a date. For most novels, they don't have a particular day, so I can just see, though, on my copyright page, it says text copyright 2005, so I'm just going to put the year 2005. And that's true of some websites also, where they may not have a particular day. They may just be published or updated, once a month, or sometimes every year they renew their copyright. Again, I look back at my other citation, I see I have a comma, so I put a comma. And location, we actually don't have a location this time because we have a print source. So we are just going to end our citation right there. And whenever I end a citation, it's going to be a period. So I'm actually changing that now to a period. And that is all our biographical information for those of you who are wondering about why Twilight is on a Spanish flu of 1918 paper. That's what Edward Cullen dies of. So now I want to make this properly cited and properly formatted, rather. So I'm going to highlight everything on this page, and I'm going to go to Format. I'm going to go to Align and Indent, Indentation Options, Special Indent, the drop-down menu. You want it to say hanging, and you want it to be 0.5, and then you hit apply, and now you can see anything that goes past the first line is indented. The second citation doesn't have a second line, so it will stop right there, but your formatting should hold if you do another works cited entry, and that is how you create a works cited from scratch and also an MLA paper. Have a wonderful day, everyone.